15 degrees, you can see your breath. Out here in the lake effect, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto Ron, Elvis in the lay poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you out here now, your family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. It was interesting because this podcast, as you all know, Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia, I started it because literally the outro, Bills thoughts said out loud. And I was thinking about something after Saturday's game, and it's been gnawing at me, helping me tonight to kind of work through it. My co-host has been on the grind. He's going to be off tonight, and I called this brother, and I needed his help. And he had actually called me a couple of weeks ago and needed my help, and I was like, man, I'm there for you. I am so happy that we're able to return the favor on the opposite side. That's what balance is about. That's what support is about. So we're going to support each other tonight. I am so glad to be joined by my co-host for the evening, special guest, Big Mike Davis from Not Your Average Podcast in the 716 over at Built in Buffalo. Holla at the crew, Big Mike. I mean, we happy to have you, man. You could check him out on Instagram, Big Mike _Barber 716. You see the tats on the Charging Buffalo. He's repping all the time. That's a permanent repping, and I mean that's even over me, and I consider myself, to be one of the greats. I mean that's permanent repping.
It ain't too many that can rep naked. You know what I'm saying?
We happy to have you, man. We happy to have you, Big Mike. I was thinking about some things, and I was hoping that you could help me, kind of talk me off the ledge, so to speak. I've been, Nickel City Crew knows, and Bills Mafia knows I'm a big time WGR listener, and I've been going through it. And just listen, that game last Saturday, Big Mike, it left some concerns in me that I'm trying to figure out if I'm overreacting. I know about the preseason pledge. I've taken it before, that nothing in the preseason that happens at all even matters. But man, I'm going to talk about a few things tonight, and I'm hoping to bounce them off you because I've got some concerns, and as we wrap up the show, there's something specific that's been gnawing at me as well in respects to that, and I just wanted to to just help me chop it up. Thanks for joining us, man.
Absolutely, I'm glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me, bro. One hand wash the other, two hands wash the face. So we're gonna always be in this together. You heard?
Yeah, man. Well, a couple of the position battles that have been going on in camp that have really caught my eye. And DT's eye as we've been going through this thing is just middle linebacker. And it's been a situation where there's a couple positions where you're wondering what's going on and what the plan is for the team. And man, it seems like Terrell Bernard, when he went down, I don't know if he was ahead of Dotson or not, but Dotson has just left something to be desired throughout these preseason games, Big Mike. And I'm wondering if this is something where we need to be concerned because we obviously knew that, Jermaine Edwards was going to be a hole to fill. But, man, I mean, Dotson is filling the wrong gaps. He's not in the right spots. They had a big, run out on against that defense, that first-team defense on Saturday against Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm just wondering what's going on, man, because is this something I need to be worried about, or is this something that's not that big of a deal?
If I know our team, right, if I know the Bills, right, I feel like this is all-inclusive plan. You know what I mean? This is all-inclusive. Right now, what we're trying to do is really just put the Lucy plays out there and see what happens. We're not trying to give
no, we're not
all
scheming.
to them.
No, not scheming. It's preseason.
Not scheming, just plain Jane. Everybody just chilling. It's preseason. So I feel like when it gets down to the nitty gritty, we got something for them. But right now, we can't go all out in a preseason game. That just don't make sense. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? You can't go all out
Now,
in a
not going
preseason
all
game.
out, what does that mean with filling your run fits? I mean, and reading your keys. I mean, some of those things are just kind of rudimentary, correct? I mean, or am I
I
being a
mean,
little bit too harsh?
yeah, but like I said, it's a preseason game. You kind of got to work through the kinks now, and it's best right now in order to, maintain a certain stature during the regular season. You got to get them all out in the regular season, in the preseason. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
you put them out there. I feel like it's like I'm fooling everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna go out there and cry wolf. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I'm gonna go out there, fool y'all thinking that we suck, all this blah blah blah. That's great. That's exactly what we want. That's exactly where we want you at. And
The
you
coach.
know the media going crazy because oh no, what? But they're like, bro, this is a preseason game. Like,
I
let
mean,
them rock.
in defense of some of Bill's Mafia and Nickel City crew, they've been going crazy. I mean, the coach sounded pretty upset. He sounded pretty,
Right,
dejected after the game. Now
right.
obviously, he cares on a different level, and that's his job, and I understand that.
Hmm.
But I mean, it was a situation where he sounded a little bit like he was concerned. He talked about the middle linebacker position specifically and said that he was concerned with what was going on and some of the communication, some of the things that he was looking for. So I'm
Right.
just wondering if this is a situation where, he feels like he has a problem on his hand, because if he feels like he has a problem on his hand now that he, is taking over play calling duties, I mean, it might be something. I mean, Terrell Bernard really couldn't have gone down at the worst time, because whether he was ahead of Dotson or not, Big Mike, I mean, this is not, I mean, AJ Klein, you want AJ Klein lining up to be your middle linebacker like that, sound the alarm, the name of the episode. Like, that
Right.
would be crazy if September 11th, AJ Klein is a middle linebacker. That would be crazy if it's Balin Spector. It would be nuts. It just seems to me like the linebacker position didn't turn out the way that they wanted. And I think it's kind of glaring right now. I mean, I don't know.
I just I feel like this, right? It's preseason. Don't nobody, I'm not really putting a lot of weight on these guys because
Okay.
you kind of gotta work your own kinks out in preseason. It's if it's now we perform like this week 3,
Right.
and that's the
Well,
issue. But preseason, when we're trying to figure things out, I feel like I can't put too much pressure on these dudes. Like, it's some teams that's gonna go out there and go balls to the wall. Like, this is like a Super Bowl. Pittsburgh, of course, they
right.
they
We
wanted to
humiliated
show.
them last year. Hmm.
Yeah, so they got a gripe towards us, and rightfully so. Let y'all, it's best for you to let you get your stuff off
Right.
preseason. Go ahead, do your thing, enjoy yourself. You having fun, great. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the regular season. So I feel like if we perform the way we know we can, it's best to get these licks on you right now, so you can feel it and really get back to the drawing board, really perform like you're supposed to. So the middle linebacker joint, I feel like the Bills is not gonna tell y'all who middle linebacker is until they start running out the tunnel.
Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like this business too is all about like the media too. You got to feed the media at some point too. So
Okay.
if you lay all your cards on the table, ain't nobody really talking about you
Okay.
because we know everything. So we got to leave something up to a little bit of, you know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know if
Hey.
I don't know if I agree with that. I think that they, the way that they, McDermott put out the starters and had them play. I think that they were trying to work with some things. You're absolutely right that they do not
Mhm.
scheme. It is the preseason, so it's kind of man on man. Now, transitioning to another position of these 3 positions that have kind of caught my eye, Big Mike, is right
Right.
tackle. And what a better way and what a better situation and a better atmosphere to kind of test your theory, which is
Mhm.
work out your kinks, than on the offensive, the defensive line. I mean, that's man on man most of the time. They're not stunting, they're not doing twists, they're not doing a lot of
Right.
exotic different pressures. It's man on man. Spencer Brown
Mhm.
looked bad on Saturday, and it kind of got some of the people in, around Nickel City crew and the Mafia kind of concerned. And I'm one of them because of the fact that, we never actually brought in competition behind him, and that point has been kind of beaten to a dead drum. But it
Right.
really does ring true they either have faith in him coming off the injury, and they wanted, Brandon Beane last year after the Cincinnati game wanted to give you excuses the next day and tell you that, he had injury and that he's never been through a full offseason and he came from a small college. There's been a lot of excuses made for him because he's so big, he's so athletic, he's so, supremely talented. You've got to put it together, Big Mike. And this, he hasn't looked great, man. I know he was going against TJ Watt, but he didn't look great. He didn't look great.
And TJ gonna put you to work. Let's just say that. TJ gonna put you to work. He gonna put anybody to work. He's a maniac. So to judge him off of going against TJ, that's tough. That's because you can't, because he's elite. You know what I'm saying? He's elite.
Oh, yeah. He's one of the best.
Any person across from him, he gives you the business. And that's just how he go. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to hold your own. At the end of the day, I mean,
we got to keep the merchandise. We got to protect the merchandise. I can't let Josh.
When
he was running around, I was nervous. I was nervous, Big Mike. When he was running around crazy, I was nervous, man.
Because it's like, all right, what I get the whatever, but you shouldn't be scrambling in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be scrambling in the preseason. It shouldn't give you a reason to scramble. I get we're not supposed to give them everything, but scrambling during the preseason is crazy. I didn't like it because I was like, anything can happen at this point. So
my mouth was open the entire time.
I was like, oh my God, what is going on? So
I was praying that he didn't get hit.
Right. So he's still himself. Put it on the line no matter what it is. But I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic, and I feel like this is a ruse, if you will. I don't know when the last time you heard that word. You know what I'm saying? Hey, hold on. Hey, I'm on that on the head.
Wow. What are we playing the game? What is that? The one game where everybody's trying to be figure out the murderer? I can't remember. What is that? The game? Oh man, that game. You remember that
is
game?
It
that
Clue?
Game. Yes, Clue. Yeah.
Yes.
The elaborate ruses. Okay. I mean, I guess I have to leave you alone on that one. You're standing firm. The last position.
Because Bean with the cone, and the slick back, I feel like he on. And you got to play to the media, bro. I'm a firm believer in that. You know what I'm saying? And then it worked with Diggs and that offseason stuff. It worked. Every time ESPN came on, who was they talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if that's really what the Bills are interested in. I think, and I tend to think that they should be okay, I'll say it this way. I think that they should be interested about bringing a Lombardi to Western New York and having that parade. But if they are doing a little bit of gamesmanship, then obviously that's par for the course. Now, listen, the final position that I was interested in, Big Mike, and to get some of your thoughts on was CB2, man. Like, who's starting opposite of Trey White when we lace him up against the Jets? Because it seems like Benford has made some plays, and then Dane Jackson is old reliable. He's like Levi Wallace light, and then obviously Kyrie Elam be getting treated like the stepchild, and like it's crazy. So,
I can tell you, I can tell you one thing. I can tell you one thing for sure.
Okay,
it won't be Kyrie.
Oh my goodness gracious! You're sure of that?
When you right? Okay, when you have. Because I watched the game and he was getting dusted, and I was like, "Who is that?" Elam? All right, in my mind, right? Okay, if we're playing man,
he's a press man corner,
which is your specialty.
That's it.
This is what you do, and you getting smoked. No,
they say he's a little handsy. He's a little handsy. He likes to.
But maybe okay. Maybe with everybody saying that he's handsy and stuff, maybe that got into his mind and it affected his game. You know what I'm saying? I think about that. Like,
that's legit.
When you try to change somebody crossover, it takes them a while to adjust. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's his style of play. I don't know what it is, but he's gonna have to come out of that if he wants any success in the NFL. Because that preseason, they was whew. Hey, they put that man on the board, didn't they? I was like,
oh my goodness. He was having a tough time, and I will, I will give. I think I always will give way to the physical traits. I think that obviously these are athletes. These are supreme athletes playing at the highest level. So I'm always going to lean towards the athletic traits. The Josh Allen, even though he's unpolished, maybe we can find something. So I know that Elam has had a tough time. I just don't know if the defense can adjust. I don't know really what McDermott's going to run. So because of that, I don't know if we can adjust to his style of play in respects to, are we playing zone on one side and then letting, Kyer do his own thing? Are we, is he understanding the concepts? Is he understanding what's being asked of him of the defense? And that's going to be important because obviously, one thing that we could always say about Levi Wallace was he was going to be exactly where you told him to be. He was going to play perfect technique and he was going to do everything to the, to the best of his ability. That's really why Benford reminds me of him so much. And then the same thing with Dane Jackson. Dane Jackson is going to, sometimes he'll get burned, but you know what I mean? He's going to have that hand up. Right. He's going to be in proper technique. And sometimes he's just going to get burned because his athletic traits are not like a Kyer Elam. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, listen, it's been going crazy at camp, Big Mike, and I appreciate you taking some time out of your night. We're going to hit on a few things real quick. I mean, I heard it's been hot and it's been a little bit, testy, and I heard that everybody's getting on everybody's nerves at practice. I mean, it's been kind of spicy, man. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if there's something in the air. I have no idea other than the fact that, it's the same jersey. The Bills, remember Nickel City Crew, Bills Mafia. The Bills were one of 5 teams in the NFL that elected not to do joint practices. What can you get accomplished with a joint practice? Now, obviously, the fighting is the negative side. One of the positive sides of joint practice, Big Mike, is that you get a chance to put in good work, one-on-one, and your quarterback doesn't get hit. The Bills elected against that. Man, it seems like they're getting on each other's nerves, man. They've been in the house too much. Everybody getting on everybody's nerves, man.
We elected not to do it because this is all a ruse. This is all a ruse, people. I see it.
They're getting hot at camp,
when you
man.
Do that,
they're getting hot.
Like before, we played against we practiced against other people before.
I think so, yeah. Mm-hmm. Rex
might
have done it.
So I feel like, it's just something that, we don't want everybody to see what we got going on.
Yeah, but they're getting hot, but the players are fighting each other. I mean, I've heard of stuff about that.
Well, it's crunch time. It's crunch time. You gotta, I think everybody, when you get a team full of dogs and everybody's hungry, somebody's bound to get bit a couple times. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we wanted, right? We can't say, we can't complain, bro.
Can't have it both ways.
We can't complain because we can't have it both ways, bro. If you wanted a room full of dogs, you better get some.
They say that Dotson's getting into it. They said that Stephon Diggs and Saran Neal have been having some beef that has extended out. Josh Allen and Dotson, and then Deion Dawkins sticking up for some of his teammates. So it's just been a situation where it's summertime. It's the dog days of summer. It's hot. Everybody is seeing the same jersey. They're seeing the same matchups every practice day, and they getting on each other's nerves over there. Now, it was funny coming out after the game. Sean McDermott, like I said, he that press conference was interesting because I guess he said he's been making guys run for penalties, 13 penalties Saturday night. Now, I don't always necessarily think that that's, falls directly on the coach, Big Mike, but it is something that's been a talking point since last week's game. And it's interesting because all coaches, it's the same. They don't line up. So when the players fuck up, like it's, what can we do? Make them run or do this, or, they preach it. And I do have a little bit of sympathy with that when it comes to coaches, because I know that the coaches talk about penalties, and when the guys are messing up and they are false starting and self-inflicted wounds, as they would say, tough. That's just got to be frustrating. I know it does.
It was tough to watch. It was tough to watch. But I feel like a lot of times, man, it was reaching. I don't know. It was a lot of those penalties that were like, what?
Yeah, the Spencer Brown one was particularly bad.
Which was super. That one was.
Yeah, he hit him right on the side. Like
that one was ridiculous. I was like, okay, now y'all pushing it. Got it, no problem. Because and we in Pittsburgh too, bro. Right. I already knew how that was gonna go. I already knew how that was gonna go. Yeah. It's a preseason game. This is the time where we can curve it. You know what I'm saying? So we got to wrench that joint. So.
Oh man,
it was just a mess. All the penalties I was watching, it was like the one with Rousseau.
Yeah,
that was unbelievable. I was like, "Yo, this is y'all got it, because there wasn't no coming back from that."
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of penalties, and like I said, McD seemed a little bit perturbed by it. He had talked about how he had pulled guys out of practice and making them run, and obviously that wasn't getting through. So he was going to have to, quote unquote, go back to the drawing board. So we'll see if they can get it figured out before their final preseason game. We've got the Bills coming up again on Saturday. I think it's at 1:00. Yep, 1:00 against the Chicago Bears. Now, listen, this last dress rehearsal, we don't expect anybody, of consequence to play, Big Mike. But I'm really more worried about the fact that are we freaking out? Because one of the things that I thought about, and I had heard it on WGR, and I gave some thought to it. And I know we released these episodes on Thursday, but on Wednesday I was sitting back and I was like, man, today I was like, listen, does the combination of the way we lost to Cincinnati, plus the combination of what happened on Saturday, even though it's preseason, is that why we're freaking out? Because I'll count myself in the choir that is just kind of, I'm not freaking out in respects to thinking that we're going to be a bad team, but I'm wondering about some of those key positions. I'm wondering about what's going on and if everything is going to be smooth sailing, because I know that the schedule is harder, Big Mike, and like you've got to come out the gates and you've got to be ready to play. And we're going to talk about that to wrap up the show. But are we just over the edge, and are we on the edge because of the way Cincinnati ended, because of the Pittsburgh loss on Saturday? Are we just giving it way too much? I mean, I can already tell your vibe from this is that it's all preseason. So I mean, so we're all just overreacting in your mind.
When the Cincinnati is this okay, so the Cincinnati loss.
That's my theory.
The Cincinnati loss was a representation of a organization feeling deflated. Okay. Right? Yeah. So much was going on within Buffalo, within the organization, with people being injured and everything like that. It was a lot. It was just everybody was emotionally drained. On E. Okay. And I'm not even talking physically. I'm just that's next. That's secondary. But emotionally, everybody was spent. The mental wasn't there. So for the Pittsburgh game, I'm not worried about that. Like that wasn't. I personally am not worried because, we know what it is. Like it's man on man during the preseason. No schemes. We just out here just throwing the ball. Now Pittsburgh was scheming.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not a coach.
I watched it. I watched it. So I seen them, but that's cool because at the end of the day, you have to do things a certain way in an organization in order to
get your team ready. Yeah,
get your team ready. So you know what I'm saying. And if it means taking a loss in the preseason, I think you would take that loss in order to maintain your sanity during a regular season, because you've already got those things that you had questions about in practice demonstrated out on the field, live action. Okay. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So, and I feel like, everybody's got to just take it easy. Preseason is preseason. It's all good. It's just, we got to, we just got to stay the course, right? Okay. Stay the course and just know what we got, man, and know that these guys are ready. Like you said, the arguments and stuff like that, that is derived from passion to win.
A level of competitiveness,
Right,
absolutely.
Right. So I want that. We don't usually hear that neither. So it's like, I want that. I want these dudes to be out there like, no, I'm starting. Because it's so many positions. It's a few key positions that are open. Right. Like completely open. Who want it? You know what I'm saying? Who won it? So that has to cause a lot of turmoil, boy.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. What? These are real. What? These are real grown men with families, and they're looking to get on that 53 again. The NFL rosters will cut down from 90 to 53 next Tuesday by 4 p.m. I know there's been a lot of chatter, around the league about Jonathan Taylor and a lot of different deadlines that are coming up. Listen, the Bills will have to make some decisions on Von Miller next week. Please, okay. I was going to switch to something else. But okay.
Rob,
okay, listen.
Rob,
I have to state where we are, though. I have to state where we are.
Wait, Rob. Wait.
I knew this was going to happen. I should have never said anything.
Jonathan, we talked about this. Me and you. We talked about this before.
Yes. On Built in Buffalo, yep.
Yes, if there's a running back that I have a football crush on, it is Jonathan Taylor. I would love for that man to come through on some spiteful. You know what I'm saying? I would on some spiteful, like, bro, I'm good. Like, let me get a sheet in 20 and we're gonna run it up. You know what I mean? Like, I would love that.
I would only be okay with that if that man wants to play out his rookie contract, because if he wants a new deal, I'm not okay with that, Big Mike. Like, listen, me and DT are not. Okay, I won't speak for DT. I am about a passing league, so I'm all about the passing. I never run on Madden. I'm all about it. I've been on that curve for a decade now. So listen, I'm not willing to pay him a new contract, but if you want to come ring chase with the squad, I'm okay with that. Now, I'm not necessarily ready to give them James Cook. I don't want to have to trade James Cook. I mean, necessarily, because we just spent the second round pick on him. But I mean, I don't know what their package they want. But if he just wants to finish out his rookie deal, okay. I mean, he's a problem. I was listening to the conversation. The debate's been on WGR today during the afternoon show, and like it's listen. I'm in a passing league. Where do you stand? Because I think that he would make us better. Clearly, I drove up 650 miles and watched him destroy us. So I have a front row seat on him. But I don't know. I don't know.
Hear me out, right? Hear me out.
I can't pay him.
So
not
for him, I think he understands that this year is not going to be his money year.
Okay.
Only because of the
way it played out with Ursa.
The temperatures for running backs is really low right now. So I feel like if you want to raise your stakes, right? Okay. You go chase that ring. Okay. Correct? So when you get the ring, hey,
give me the money. Give me the money.
You know,
whether it's Buffalo or a different team.
This is a chess game. You know what I'm saying? This is a chess game. So
if you were his agent, you would be trying to tell him to play the long game.
Yes, you got to play chess, bro. You got to play the long game and kind of spend this year bringing respect back to the running back room, right?
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying?
That's deep.
Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's deep on a contender, which Indianapolis is not.
On a contender, Indianapolis is not. But if you come to Buffalo, bro, this is a big time contender. It's like putting the shocks on the NFL. If you pull up to Buffalo, bro, I'm talking about everybody would be sweating, palm sweating.
For
real. Know what I'm saying? Because it's like they don't even what?
Because Dalvin Cook goes to the Jets, which we're getting ready to close on, because that was another topic. And then I'm wondering if Miami's one of the teams that's been. So would you be? I would be nervous personally. This is me, not everybody. Yeah. Even though I said everything I said about passing league, I would be nervous if Miami got Jonathan Taylor, because what you would allow is his plate would be half full. Whatever you're putting on his plate now, it could be half full because of the fact that you have Waddle, you have the Cheetah, and now you have somebody to turn around to who can. He is a difference maker. I drove up all the way for a Bills game, and I watched Jonathan Taylor just rip our hearts out. I think he had 4 touchdowns, 5 something crazy. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was so embarrassing. It was horrible.
Disgusting.
It was a horrible.
And I was like, but my thing is like, right? I wouldn't. For me. If
Miami had him, would you think of them different?
Yes.
Yeah, I would.
Honestly, you have to.
I would.
But also, I think about it like this, right? I don't believe that Miami is a contender, right? If I'm playing a chess game, I don't believe that
they're on our level.
I don't believe in the head of the dragon. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't believe in Tua. So for him to go there, you would have to believe in the head of the dragon and everybody around that. And I feel like the best place for him to land would be in Buffalo because of our boy just went down, Hines, right?
Yeah, he did.
So
they picked up Darrington Evans or whatever, and they picked up another one.
I don't even. We don't care. He can listen here. Take your jersey. You can have that.
Practice squad. You can have that.
Yeah.
He'll be on the sideline, right, in
but
the jumpsuit.
My thing is this: like, if you wanna move a piece and be like checkmate, that's the one. That's the one, and that's the checkmate for the respect that running backs get. A, and B, the actual Indianapolis Colts and their outlandish disrespect towards you and what you've done to their organization, and they just able to just.
Yeah. What? No, I mean, it would be. If you're his agent, you're definitely, I would think that, You know, you have to know the lay of the land. You have to understand, like you just spoke to earlier, Big Mike, that the running back market is depressed right now. So,
Yes.
maybe one of the situations that would be best for you right now, Jonathan, is to go JT and you go to Miami, or you go to Buffalo, or you go to the Ravens. You know what I mean? J.K. Dobbins been acting crazy up there. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may
Right.
be, you go and
Right.
you figure it out, and then you help a contender get to another level and increase your
Mhm.
stock. Now, they'll try to use that against him when it comes time for negotiating, but I mean, a
Right.
ring in your hand does it does
So
sparkle. It kind of sparkles. If
it's
that was, obviously if
I
that was
would,
the case.
because I can't see him making I don't know.
I don't think he's staying there. I really don't. They
And
gave him till Tuesday. I think he's gonna find his agent will find a way to get him out.
you gotta play chess. You can't automatically go for the money right away, right? Because you were coming off an injury, right?
Right.
So you can't automatically be like, oh no, you gotta go out there, bro,
And prove that
and
you can get back.
have a full year under your belt of just you going crazy again to let people know that you still have it in you.
Right.
And a ring would be wonderful to add to that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah,
And
negotiation wise, yeah.
come on, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I'm this the agent. This hey, Taylor, what's up, brother? Hey, you like blue cheese?
Oh my goodness. Listen, JT to the Bills. I don't know if the Bills would be interested in something like that. Again, Cook would not be able to be involved, I would assume, because of the draft the draft equity that they've already paid into him. But it's an interesting conversation because I would be lying if I said that Miami got him and I wouldn't be more worried. I would be more worried just because Tua would have to do less. Plus, you still have Cheetah and Waddle, so they don't leave the team.
Right.
And then, I mean, Jonathan. I
Yeah,
mean, I've seen it firsthand. He can ruin a game plan just off the fact of his consistency to hit
right,
the holes the hard, and then he has
right.
the explosiveness to go with it, shiftiness to go
Yeah.
with it.
Because
He's a
Miami's going to
problem.
weigh heavily in on the passing game. They're going to
Yeah,
weigh in heavily on the passing game. They're not worried about running. They're worried about those two speedsters getting
right,
as many yards as they can. That's all
right.
they're worried about. And
And
they
have a
are not
Jonathan
worried about
Taylor back there would be a
it.
luxury.
Would throw that off. It would. I think it wouldn't even be a luxury because I don't think he would get as much
Much
spins
burn.
as
Okay.
is that he would like in order to play that correct chess move. You know what I'm
And
saying?
here in Buffalo, you think he would have a big role?
I think he would have a huge role
Yeah.
because he can catch out of the backfield. He's a good blocker. He's a hell of a runner. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't. You can't say nothing bad about the dude.
Yeah, you could take a
He's
lot off
really
of Josh's plate too when it comes to those
what?
QB sneaks. If Josh
What?
wouldn't have to do those, many times with
Oh my
with JT back there.
god!
That's
Yeah. So
interesting.
I just like the idea. I would love
Yeah,
it. Hey,
we'll
let me
see.
dream. You know what I'm
We'll
saying?
see.
Let me dream. Yeah.
We'll see. As we wrap up tonight, again, I appreciate your time tonight, Big Mike.
Absolutely.
Again, check him out, Big Mike _ excuse me, Barber 716. Check him out. I mean,
Yes.
he's doing this thing. I mean, he's crispy with the lines, with the razor game.
Oh
He is
man,
really tight,
appreciate you.
and he turns
Appreciate
water
you.
into wine, as they would say in the barber
Yes,
community. I mean,
sir.
he turns it into into wine
Yes,
every time.
sir.
Yeah. Listen,
Yes,
as we wrap
sir.
up, I'll be honest, man. I've got a little confession. I mean, I'm not starting to like them, but boy,
Okay.
do I like the production and HBO Hard Knocks, man. I don't know, man. The
Oh,
Jets look raw. Listen, I'm being honest.
no,
I'm
I
being
get it. I get it.
transparent.
No,
I'm
I
laying on
get
the
it.
couch. I'm not saying that I'm a Jets fan or anything. Obviously, I
Right.
would never
Right.
blaspheme the AFC East. I still hate the Colts, or can't stand the
Right.
Colts at least. But listen,
Right.
I mean, the Jets look hard, Big Mike. I mean, the production on that show is just immaculate. And what's happening now is they are making me more and more nervous with every episode that comes out, which was why I had to go over the concerns
Oh.
today with you before we got to get to this ending part, because of the fact that, listen, man, they look tough, man. They just look like a team that's nasty. Quentin Williams looks nasty. And
Right.
I understand it's a production. I understand that they are supposed to highlight the best of them, while the hours and hours spent filming are probably not
Right.
all, cotton candies and mangoes. But listen, man, they look tough to me. The Bills better come out of the gate ready to play, man, because this could be a tough way to start the
Yeah.
season. You start 0-1. I understand everything is still right in front of you, 16 games remaining, but the
Right.
tenor in the room will change, man. This Monday night game is a it's a massive one. It's massive.
I feel like the ruse plays right into game one.
Oh my
right?
goodness, he is. Listen, callback joke. You've carried this throughout the show, man. I mean,
Oh
round of
yeah,
applause. You like Dave Chappelle right now.
hey, listen, because
The ruse.
it only makes sense. It only
Okay.
makes sense, right?
Talk to me.
Because Jets have the Hard Knocks. The hype is so much around them.
Aaron
They're on
Rodgers.
Rodgers getting chains. They going to the games. All that. Okay, cool. Let them do all that. Let them have all their fun. Let them get all the highlights. Let all the people that have the green and white jerseys feel like they have Jesus
They came
in
out with
their
some
field.
throwbacks.
And then game one,
Yeah.
it's just like a direct punch to the nuts. And it's like, you know what I mean? So I feel like you can't. I want them to feel like they're gonna beat us. You know what I'm saying? If in your mind, I want you to feel amazing. I want all the crowd to feel like everything. This is it. We're gonna stomp these dudes. Everything is amazing.
Wow.
And then Lord have mercy, it takes a left turn. The stadium quiet. Third quarter is half empty. That's the type of stuff we are.
That's the energy you on right now?
That's the energy I'm on. Third quarter empty. That's what I wanted.
Man, they do a great job with the production. And if you weren't a Jets fan, you could quickly become one because of the fact that, listen, everything is perfectly laid out. And so, Salah, he sounds great in his press conferences. I mean, I just watched episode 3 last night, and he broke down the different type of competitors that they have on every NFL roster, he says. And I mean, the way he broke it down, I was like, man, this is applicable in life as well. So it was just funny that, he's motivating. And then you hear, you know what I mean? Aaron Rodgers is in town, and then you see the defense that you just, it seems so crazy. And it's like, wow, and some of those joint practices that the Bills didn't want to participate in, Quentin Williams is killing it. So it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's just that I don't have any Hard Knocks. I know that the Bills do their own little behind the blue and red or whatever the case may be. But man,
if we would have did joint practices, it would have been with the Jets.
You think so?
I think so. It wouldn't have been with nobody else.
Or Pittsburgh, maybe. But they played them in the preseason, so it's normally a team. It's normally a team that you play in the preseason. No, it's normally a team that you play in the preseason, and then they come a few days earlier. So basically, you get some practice in together. So probably Pittsburgh.
It would have been the Steelers, yeah.
Yeah,
what I mean. I feel like at the end of the day, you can't let them see anything right now. You can't let them see because they have so much hype around them. If you give them just a little, you know what I mean. So they got Hard Knocks. They want to play the game. We can play the game too. You know what I'm saying? Let's play the game.
We're going to play the game September 11th. Yeah, we're going to play the game September 11th, Monday Night Football. It's coming before you even know it. We are inching closer to week 1. And again, this is really a season that everybody is really looking forward to. The pressure is on. We've named episodes. Me and DT have already come out with episodes, Pressure Bust Pipes. I mean, it's all eyes on McD. Like everything is really kind of culminating for this season. And I can't wait for it, to be honest, Big Mike. I really appreciate you joining me tonight, man. I really do.
I'm on the edge of my seat, man. I can't listen. I look at my coasters on my kitchen table.
It's in my DNA. Yeah, man. That's the way that it is right now. I just got my my Bills Bucks card today in the mail. Like, you know what I mean? It's just all starting to, it's all starting to come into focus. It's all starting to seem real. So as always, tonight's episode presented by 26 Shirts here on the Buffalo Fan Base Podcast Network that we simulcast on. Head on over to 26shirts.com for all of the latest Buffalo-themed tees and sweatshirts. They all, again, support a great cause with each and every purchase. I can't say it enough, Big Mike. Big Mike over at your Built-in Buffalo, not your average podcast in the 716. Shop 143. You heard the name.
Yes, you heard the name.
I let the crew, man.
Please make sure y'all go, follow us on all platforms, Not Your Average Podcast in the 716.
Please do.
Follow us. We are live on Built in Buffalo every Thursday at 2 p.m. Come check us out, man. I appreciate you, Rob, for joining me on our podcast, and I'm glad to be here on yours. You know
man, absolutely. I appreciate you stepping in, and again, DT's been grinding. He was busy tonight, and I appreciate you stepping in for us, man. As always, Anytime. I love it, man.
Anytime, bro.
Anytime. I love it, man. Spread love. Sure. That's the love that we're trying to spread. Spread love, not hate. Don't forget that. As always, these were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Hit them with a go, Bills, Big Mike.
You heard the name. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Go Bills. I had a ball, man.